Hello, hello, and welcome to day 4 of the Nervous System mini course in the Healing Habits community. My name is Elsa Karinki. I cannot believe that it's already day 4, and I'm so excited to bring today's lesson to you. So, if you are just jumping into the course, if you're here live, obviously that's different. Enjoy. We will move through today's lesson together, and I'm so happy you're here. But if you're watching via the replay, I do highly encourage you to go back to day 1, start with day 1, and then move through the course in order, because the material does build on itself each day. So what you learn in day 1 will deepen your understanding of day 2, day 3, and now day 4, and of course tomorrow, day 5. So go back, watch the replays in order, and then we'll get started with today's lesson. So, as always, we are going to start with a simple pranayama practice. And then today I'm actually going to change it up a little bit for you. And I'm going to guide you through a sensory awareness meditation. And then today's lesson is going to be maybe one of the shortest ones, but actually kind of the key lesson of this entire program, which is, what is nervous system regulation actually? So to begin, just go ahead and take a nice steady seat. You don't have to go too crazy with your posture, but begin by noticing the way that your sit bones feel either on the chair or on the floor. If you're in a chair, maybe it's actually your feet that are on the floor, so you can feel into that. You can blink your eyes closed or leave them open. And then just for a few moments, tune into your internal world. Notice what you feel inside. What sensations are you feeling and where are you feeling them? And then today we're going to do a pranayama practice called 4-7-8 breath. So it's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to play with counting again. So we inhale for 4 seconds, hold full for 7 seconds, exhale for a count of 8 seconds, and then you immediately inhale again. There's no hold after the exhale on this one. So just go ahead and take one last clearing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then seal your lips. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now continue on your own without my guidance. Count internally. Now finish the round you're on and complete 2 more full rounds. So absolutely no rush. Go at your own pace in your own way. Take your time. And when you've completed the last round, simply release the count and just breathe in and out through your nose in any way that feels effortless and easy. And now I'm going to guide you through a sensory awareness meditation. So I learned this as imagining like warm honey dripping through your body. That's a visual that I really like. It's very soothing to me, but some people are like, oh, hell no, that is so gross. I do not want honey dripping through my body. So if honey freaks you out, you can use like a healing light or maybe cleansing water as the visualization. And we're just going to move your awareness throughout the body. And your only intention here is to observe as we move through the body, which areas do you feel a lot of sensation and which areas do you feel not much sensation, either numbness or just can't pick up anything. And then in the areas of sensation, maybe you notice what those sensations are. So we never approach these practices from a space of self-judgment. There's nothing right or wrong about your experience. It's just simply a way to engage in compassionate inquiry and get to know yourself more intimately. So just breathe normally in any way that feels effortless and easy. And follow my guidance as you bring your awareness to the crown of your head. Crown chakra, the very top of your head. Just sense and feel into this space. What do you notice? Then move your awareness and feel this substance dripping down into your forehead, your eye socket, and on the side, your temples, into your cheekbones and your cheeks, down your jaw, and fills your nose, your lips, and your chin. And it fills the contour of the back of your skull until your entire head space is filled with your awareness. And then you can feel this honey, this light, this water dripping down your neck and your throat into the space of your collarbone. And it continues to drip down over the ridge of your shoulders and into your upper arm, elbows, forearm, wrists, and your hands all the way into your fingertips. And bring your awareness back to your collarbones as you feel this honey or this water or this light filling the entire cave of your heart, from your spine to your sternum, both sides of the ribs. And just sense and feel and notice what sensations are present in this space. And then you gather your awareness into your solar plexus between your sternum and your belly button, filling your entire abdomen with this substance and your awareness. Then it fills the space of your navel, and then down into your lower belly. And now fill your entire pelvic bowl with your awareness. From the tailbone to the pubic bone, both sides of the hips. And just sense and feel what's present in your pelvic bowl today. And your awareness continues to drip down into your buttocks, down your thighs, to your knees, to your lower leg, your ankles. And this honey, this water, this light fills both of your feet, from the sole to the top, from the heel to the toes. And then just take a moment to hold your entire body in your awareness. sense and feel your entire physical body from the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers and toes. Which areas are holding a lot of sensation, which areas maybe not so much. Sense and feel for 2 more breaths. And then tuck your chin down slightly. Blink your eyes open. Gaze first at one spot on the floor. And then raise your eyes up and just gaze around your space for a minute or two. And then bring your eyes back to the screen. If you would like to drop any reflections or reactions to those practices in the chat, you're more than welcome to do so. So today we are going to finally, once and for all, define what nervous system regulation is. So if you are connected to the wellness space or the healing space, like on social media, anything like this at all, you really can't open your phone without seeing this everywhere, you know, like nervous system regulation, nervous system regulation, nervous system regulation. It's a super hot topic these days in this space for good reason. It is incredibly, incredibly important, but for how often it's mentioned, I feel like it's very rarely defined. And, you know, I actually didn't fully understand the definition of this until I began my journey to become a somatic experiencing practitioner. And this is essentially what it's all about, is nervous system regulation, you know, guiding people through the process of self-regulation and things like this. So, what is it? As I mentioned on, I believe that was day 2, when I talked about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems, you know, there's this overemphasis in the wellness space on the parasympathetic response, rest and digest, relax, et cetera, et cetera. But as I mentioned that day, you know, our sympathetic nervous system is equally as important. You know, like if we were in this parasympathetic state all day long, we would never get anything done. You know, we would never wake up in the morning. We would never move about our day. We would never like push our bodies in a workout, things like this. So what is regulation? I think a lot of people are under the false impression that nervous system regulation is essentially achieving this state of relaxation all the time. And, you know, being in this like rest and digest paradise 24/7. And that's actually not what it is. What nervous system regulation is the healthy restoration of the rhythm of parasympathetic and sympathetic activation, or up and down regulation of the nervous system throughout your day. So in a healthy system, we are constantly moving through cycles of up and down regulation. You know, sometimes they're more extreme and they're more noticeable, you know, if we have like a very high level of activation, and then we have the tools and our system down regulates itself naturally. But they're happening all the time below the level of consciousness, and they're built into many of these autonomic functions of our amazing bodies. So for example, our breath. So an inhale is slightly more activating to the sympathetic system, and an exhale is slightly more activating to the parasympathetic system. Now, of course, this is very subtle. If, every time you took an inhale, you were thrust into this intense fight or flight, and every time you took an exhale, you're like freezing and collapsing, or, just like rest and digesting on the couch, that would not be good. So it's subtle, it's barely noticeable, but it's still happening. So all day long, your breath is one of the mechanisms through which this regulatory system is happening all the time. So, as we're sitting here, as you inhale, a little bit of sympathetic activation, as you exhale, a little parasympathetic activation, and so on and so forth. But these cycles are happening, throughout the day without us knowing. Now, yesterday I talked about defensive orienting and just kind of our orienting response in general, and what happens in our nervous systems when we are exposed to a stimulus that is a potential threat. And I mentioned yesterday that if our bodies deem something to be a threat, we will begin the process of defensive orienting, and our system will subconsciously choose a response: fight, flight, freeze, etc. Now, if we are repeatedly traumatized, or if we experience a threatening situation that overwhelms our system and traumatizes us, it is possible for us to get stuck in one of those trauma response states. So you may have a tendency to be more on the sympathetic side with like a fight or a flight tendency. You may get stuck in more of a freeze or a fawn response, which is more on the parasympathetic side. So, we all know those people who just have like a really short fuse. They're always ready for a fight, like one tiny little thing happens and they explode. We also know people who, at the slightest, even, possibility of conflict, they're out, they're running. Or who just avoid confrontation at all costs. We also know people who tend to freeze or, get stuck in this like immobilized state, even when the initial threatening stimulus is no longer present and hasn't been for a long time. And so a huge part of our work when it comes to healing trauma is to restore this nervous system regulation, this ability to move freely from a state of sympathetic activation to parasympathetic activation without much effort on our part. Like at the beginning, when we have been stuck in one of these states, it's going to take time. And that's what we do in somatic experiencing sessions. And that's what we do in, all types of somatic healing, is to really get in there below the level of consciousness to bring these traumatic memories, these felt sense experiences, these, physical impulses, these emotional releases, these sensations, to bring those things to the surface so that we can move through them in a controlled environment where there's safety, so that we are not constantly reenacting that traumatic situation in our lives, or we're not getting stuck in one space in our system. And the thing that's really beautiful about this is that if we move slow and we allow our system to do what it naturally does, our body truly is a self-healing mechanism. And our body naturally wants to regulate itself if we give it the time and the space to do so. So that's really what I do with my clients in all of my SE sessions. We also do this a bit in breath work, even though that's a more cathartic experience, but we give time and space for the body to do its thing, to do what it naturally wants to do what it naturally knows how to do. And we restore this healthy rhythm. So I'm going to talk tomorrow about titration and building capacity, because whether or not you are in range and whether or not your system is regulated really depends on your window of tolerance and your capacity, which I'll talk about tomorrow. But for now, just know that you actually know the true definition of nervous system regulation, which not a lot of people out there proclaiming it on the internet actually know what it means. So the intention behind somatic healing modalities is this healthy restoration of the natural rhythm of the nervous system to experience smooth cycles of sympathetic and parasympathetic activation or up and down regulation throughout the day. So I will write a post in the Facebook group for day 4. If you have any questions about this or any like light bulb moments, ahas, insights, things like this, I would love to hear them in the Facebook group. I'll be in there, actively answering and cheering you on with your insights and stuff for the rest of this week. And also stay tuned later today or tomorrow for details on the full nervous system education course that I'm offering starting November 29th. It's going to be 4 weeks long. We are going to dive way deeper into these topics, and you are going to be a nervous system ninja by the end of this. And I'm also going to be teaching you, more of these simple practices for you to actually implement into your life to help you self-regulate. And I'm intentionally hosting this course through the holidays because this tends to be a time of a lot of dysregulation for people. So, a lot of us are traveling, we're out of our routine, maybe taking time off work. So that's great, but it throws the routine off. We're eating foods we don't normally eat. We may not be moving our bodies as much. We're seeing family or we're setting boundaries not to see family. And so nervous system regulation is important all the time, but I think especially during the holidays, it is particularly important. And those of you who've been tuning into this course and who are here in the Healing Happens community are going to get a very special early bird discount for the next few days. So you don't want to miss it. Join me. I'm so excited. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for lesson 5.